Hey guys, I'm literally jumping out of my shoes right now because I'm so excited to get in and share with you a journey of one of our most amazing clients, Elicia Crook. And how she was able to go from, running a business that wasn't exactly fulfilling her to taking that to a place where within such a short period of time, she made $14,000 in a day. Okay, she went from struggling to making $14,000 in a day. And I'm going to share how she did that and also her journey, and from her words, how she knows she can replicate that time and time again, and how she's dominating with her coaching business in the most amazing, passionate way. So I'm going to be taking you through her journey, asking her a lot of questions, all for the purpose of educating you guys, on how she got those results, so we can learn from her journey, and so you guys can replicate that yourself. So it's going to be an amazing ride. It's going to be an honest interview. So I'm not holding back. It's not just going to be the good things that she's done well, but also the things that held her back, that she broke through, and the struggles that she has right now. I think it's important for you guys to know the truth behind her journey and to be able to learn from that, because it is an amazing truth, but it does take work. So we're going to go through that process so you can learn from it. So make sure you're taking notes and get excited. But guys, if you want to start to get results like Elicia straight away, and you're someone that just likes to make stuff happen now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go below this video, because I've opened up some spots for you to be able to get access to my expertise and my experience, not because I'm so smart, but because I've worked with over 500 coaches, helping them with their plans, helping them get a profitable business model, get their marketing to generate a ton of leads, whether it's going from nothing to 83 leads in a day, whether it's growing their business to over 100 clients just using Facebook ads. Okay, I will literally help you get clear on your price points, everything that you need to get to this amazing promised land that you have in your mind, this awesome goal, probably even raise the standards from where you are now and look at what's stopping you from getting there, which is really exciting. So guys, I'm absolutely pumped. I cannot wait to speak with you. Go below, do that. And then I can't wait to also have an interview with Elicia and share that journey with her and with you guys as well. So let's get straight in. Awesome guys, welcome to this amazing interview. We've got the gorgeous Elicia Crook here, who's one of our awesome, amazing 7-figure coaches. And we're going to be going through a bit of a journey that Alicia's had, which has been an amazing journey. I'm so grateful to have you here. Thanks so much for tuning in. We've pretty much got our 7-figure coach hustle retreat in this office at Winning HQ right now. So there's people making sales and going crazy in there, which is awesome. So the purpose of this interview that we're having today is to learn the good, bad, ugly, everything involved with Alicia's journey. And it has been an amazing journey where she's pretty much gone from scratch, starting at her coaching business, to getting it to a point where it is the sole thing, just absolutely smashing it. So just to quickly lead in to give the guys an idea of where you're up to now, if you could give them a little bit of an idea of, exactly what you do and where the business is at now, and then we'll talk about how you got there. That would be awesome. So you guys can just tune along, take some notes, and try to learn from Alicia's hard work and the journey that she's been on, so that we can kind of just emulate that ourselves. That would be really, really cool. Go for it, Elicia.
So I'm a business coach for massage therapist, and I've been able to grow my coaching business to generating 7 leads or 7 sales in 1 week.
Crazy.
From literally doing maybe not even getting that in the first 4 months to being able to do it in 48 hours.
Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
Which was so awesome, because the one thing that stands out to me so much for you, Elicia, is that number one, you've got an amazing, unbeatable, awesome, crazy attitude. And we've worked with over 500 coaches, and that is the biggest thing that stands out for us, because we know instantly that person's going to smash the results, which you did. So having you come into 7-figure coach and then make more cash flow in 48 hours than you did in the last 4 months was amazing. And we knew that Elicia was going to smash it, but so cool. Yeah. Awesome job. So what was it, 14K? Yeah. Yep, 14K in 48 hours, which is really, really cool. So first question that I have for you is, just so that the guys can kind of try to extrapolate some knowledge straight up, what do you think your 3 biggest learnings were over that journey that you've had so far in the coaching business, now being at a stage where you're doing extremely well financially with the business? What have your biggest learnings been so far?
Biggest learnings has been getting clarity on the right steps to take. It
Awesome.
can be really easy to fudge around when you don't have a specific blueprint, or you don't know what to say, I'll just try this, I'll just try that, which is what I've been doing.
Sure.
And to actually have someone say, right, do this, do that, and just go, okay, well, I'll give it a crack, and for it to just work in 2 weeks was pretty damn cool.
Yeah, awesome.
So that's probably the first biggest learning. The other biggest learning is just, being able to have an amazing impact in people's lives has been phenomenal. Yes, the cash flow is brilliant and I totally love it. And I love the results that my clients are getting, and I love the fact that I'm now able to do that on a bigger scale than what I was before. And that's probably the biggest breakthrough for me, has been able to see people have those aha moments and just have the courage to take them through that step when they're there going, holy shit, I'm not sure if I can do it. And it's like, man, it's $2,000 to be fine. And know that what I've got is really going to give them the results that they want.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's what lights me up. I mean, the fact that we're here right now, as I said, I was waiting for you to come to the office for ages, like Christmas for me, because I couldn't wait to see you after you smashed the sales. I was so excited. So, I love that as well. It's like when you shift your focus from trying to force results and get results and make sales, it's a completely different mindset just to be focusing on the results that you're trying to get for your clients and coming from that space of genuine heart-centered energy, as opposed to ego, thinking, analyzing, worrying, just flowing, because you know that what you're going to do is going to create an amazing impact.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. So first of all, get clarity. Make sure that you have a blueprint, a structure. Can you give the guys a little bit of a specific look into what that blueprint consisted of that we created for you?
Yeah, sure.
Because it could be good value for you.
Absolutely. So I had a session with you that we basically set some KPIs, which in the massage industry, I look at, as far as teaching my guys how to get more clients, it was like, this is what you need to do. This is the amount of leads you need to generate every week. This is the amount of leads you need to speak to, convert, trigger sessions. It was really specific. And because the bar was set, well, of course I'm going to meet it.
You say that, of course you're going to meet it. Not everyone has that amazing attitude.
Well, but it's like, if you don't say, okay, I'm going to generate this many leads in my business every week, I just want to generate leads, which is what I was doing.
Sure.
Well, of course you faff around. Whereas when you say, right, this is how many I have to do if I want to be successful and make a really good go at this. Well, okay, cool. What do I have to do to achieve that?
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, cool. So in terms of the blueprint, we got very, very clear, just for you guys watching, on exactly what cash flow you wanted Elicia at. Exactly how many sales she had to make to hit that cash flow, how many sales sessions she had to have to make that many sales, and how many leads you had to generate to therefore get that many sessions, get that many sales, get that much cash flow. So it was all broken down specifically.
And then it was just kind of reverse engineering. What did I need to do to make that happen?
Exactly.
So what content I need to put out there for people to engage with, which has been phenomenal.
Yeah, awesome. So let's actually go a little bit deeper with that, because I know you guys watching are like, but what did she do? How did she get that? How did she make 14K in 48 hours? Well, it's a matter of doing the right steps, and it doesn't mean that they're crazy secrets and no one else knows, although we do optimize things to get really, really quick, awesome results. I mean, we're generating over 1,000 leads a month for our business and growing it really fast, and that's kind of the hot, sexy topics that everyone wants. But the difference with Elicia is so much over and above than just the strategy. But let's go into the strategy anyway. So what are some examples of some tasks that we set for you to do to generate those leads and get the sessions and make the sales?
Yep. So I had to run a webinar, which I really enjoyed doing. That was fun.
Yeah.
I had to create some video ads. I had to create 7 of them. To which I was like, really, can't I just run more webinars? And I got told, no, follow the plan. Fair enough, I followed the plan. The cool thing was the first sale I made was from the video ad.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
I had to run a webinar, run a challenge, create some video ads, and put some blogs out there. And everything that I did has a link back to my website somehow. So link back to contact, put your details
to getting them into a session.
Yeah, to get them into a session. And I think that was the biggest thing that stood out. It's like, okay, everything I'm doing is to get phone numbers to get a session. Okay, I get that. And then I want to put them into something so that they're getting content and building trust.
Yeah.
And then I want to put them into a trigger session and sign them up. I get that. Like I got it on a whole new level and went, okay, that's what my life is now. This is what I do. I now get to call people every day and say, hey, how you doing? How can I add value to your business?
Exactly, and I think that is
cool.
the massive key here, because a lot of the stuff you said then you're now an expert at. For the guys kind of watching along, they'll be like, what's a challenge? What's a trigger session? Stuff like that. These are all ways to build trust with your audience and allow them to get closer and closer to wanting to work with you. Because the big kind of overriding big picture behind getting a client is you want to give more value at every single level of the process, from them seeing you for the very first time to them being your superstar case study client.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's the goal always. So when you put up your first video and they see you for the first time, the value and the heart and the energy that you put out, you want it to be so amazing that they want more. And then from that video, they're like, yeah, I'll go on the webinar. And then on the webinar, you give more than you've ever given. Yeah. And then you get them into a session. On that session, you give so much and just put it out there from an energy saying, I want to put forwards as opposed to I want to get. That they're just like, man, of course I want to work with you. It's like, what's next?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And then
it's modeling what I've seen you guys do as well.
Yeah.
When I've been on the phone having conversations with you guys, it's totally about adding that value. And you walk away, I reckon the first time I spoke to you, it was like, I felt like I had my head so far up my own ass, I don't even know what you said. So it was just like, I don't know if you can use that, but like it's just, you just do. You guys add so much value, and so to be able to model that, to see that happening, go, okay, well, it's working really well. How can I model that in my own business?
Number one, thank you. So number one, it works because you're giving value. Video just ran out of memory, so I had to do it. We're back. So again, it is literally just about giving. It just takes away any pressure associated with marketing and sales, which are kind of the biggest, scariest things for coaches, but it's also the most important things to making sure that we actually get someone's life who we have the potential to change. So thank you. Awesome takeaways so far. So one thing you just mentioned when we had the camera off was Zach.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the positive, negative, whatever the impact with Zach has been. So for those of you that don't know, Zach is someone in our 7-Figure Coach program whose full-time role is to enforce on our clients from a heart-centered place. We call him the heart-centered enforcer, to make sure they get their stuff done. So that although we're positive, towards motivated, inspirational coaches, sometimes a foot in the ass is great.
Yeah.
Talk through how your experience with Zach.
So Zach, I had a conversation with Zach before I started my awesome calls that I made this particular time we're talking about, and I had to sell to Zach, and Zach put on a fantastic performance, and he went all boring and deadpan and was kind of like all shy, which is hilarious if you know him, and tonality changed.
He's the most certain person you'll ever meet.
Absolutely, and then he was walking around here.
Yeah.
And there were people in the background going, I made a sale, and I could hear this stuff going on. And I thought, holy shit, if Zach goes, my objection is price, whatever, I knew he was going to object to something because that was the purpose of the call. Yeah. And if I say, that's okay. And that is just not going to cut it. There's no way that I can bring that when he's here surrounded by this. And it was like, holy shit, so I have to step up and I have to bring everything I've learned from watching being modeled and being taught to totally smash this. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was shitting myself at home. But no one would have known. He didn't know that. I don't think he knew that.
Oh, he knew.
And but I mean, the thing was that I was able to, because it was uncomfortable, I was actually able to grow in that space and learn what are some great tips, what's some language that I can use, rather than they're going, I don't know what to say, which is how I had been doing stuff in the past. So it gave me not only language, but experience of how to be uncomfortable, but with the safety net of it's Zach. And his job is to teach me and empower me to be even better at what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So,
his job is to force you to go outside your comfort zone as much as possible.
Tip job done.
Yeah, definitely. So Zach, if you don't get your stuff done on a weekly basis, he slams you.
Absolutely.
If you're being a lesser version of yourself, he'll slam you, which is good because it builds you into the habit of doing that stuff. Yeah. And for those of you, he holds me accountable as well to my own thing, because I obviously need to be at a standard that is over and above to be a role model for you guys as well. So, he's great at what he does.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving forward. So thank you so much. There's some awesome learning. So clarity on knowing exactly what you do, because if I don't have clarity, or you don't have clarity, or anyone doesn't have clarity, we don't act it makes it so much harder when you're going from a place of confusion. Secondly, you spoke through some of the steps that you had, you know, a lot of online marketing, giving value at every level. Such an amazing takeaway for a coach.
Yeah.
What do you think was a big breakthrough for you from before we started working together to where we started working together, you know, that was more of an intangible thing? Because we've spoken a lot about strategy, but I know and I can tell how much you've flourished as a person, because I remember the very first call that we had, I was setting the bar up here and I was talking about this big kind of vision and stuff like that. And I remember the sort of things that were coming out, and I'm not trying to put you down here or anything, but just the growth's been awesome. Is that, you know, this sounds great, don't get me wrong, but is this actually possible? Can I actually make it? Will people actually pay that? And you have just blown it out of the ballpark. And even when you joined Seven Figure recently, our 20K program, which we're talking about with Zach and stuff, you know, you went in going, crap, is this goal really possible? And then instantly switched and went, fuck it, I know it's possible, let's do it.
Absolutely.
So what do you think the big shift's been from you from that very first conversation to now with your mindset?
Yeah, sure. So the biggest shift for me was realizing that as I'd had 11 people through my old program, and they had gotten results, and it was realizing that I was already successful. It wasn't something that I had to work to achieve. It was like, what if I was already successful now?
Sure.
And if I was already successful now, well, then of course I could take steps moving forward. And that was a really massive, that was the deep, profound shift that I went, I mean, let's bring it on, let's do this. And I don't do things by halves, it's double or nothing. So
cool.
Bring it on.
How's it been, just really quick question, how's it been being in the office this week with the other guys that are smashing it?
Awesome.
Wendy made 45K yesterday, Jacob made 60K the other day. Everyone has been smashing it in here. What's it like to have that environment?
Oh, it's phenomenal. I absolutely love being around people who are just big, massive thinkers, action takers. Everyone's out there high-fiving, you know, and working their asses off. It is good fun. It's awesome.
Totally. I think it's so important, because I remember being at a point myself where I didn't actually believe it was possible. Cool. So Elicia, next question. We've spoken a lot about the positive. We've spoken about what you've done incredibly well, the wins, being able to do 14K in 48 hours, being able to create a business that is far surpassing anything you've done in the past.
Absolutely.
Just quickly on that note, before we kind of go and talk about some of the struggles that you've gone through and how you overcame them, just so if you guys most likely will be having similar struggles and you can see how Elicia overcame them, talk to the guys, because you only just mentioned this to me a few, maybe 15 minutes ago, the fact that, you know, what you're doing next with a chapter of your life, you made a business decision with your previous business. Talk about that and why you made that decision.
So I've been able to make some decisions based on what I want. So I absolutely love to massage, but to spend an entire day in a massage room, it takes up a lot of my time. So I've actually chosen to move forward and to be able to still work 1 day a week massaging, because I love it and I love that connection with people. But then to look at actually selling my business on to somebody else who's also just as passionate and amazing at what they do. Yeah, awesome. And I now have the choice. You know, it's given me a choice to have leverage in my own life, which is phenomenal.
Hell yeah. So essentially, your old business that you were doing that was generating you the same over a full month of running that business, you generated more in 2 days. And so you're kind of like, all right, let's ditch that old business and start ramping up this coaching business, which is awesome. Why did you make the decision to get rid of that business?
Because...
What gave you the confidence to be able to do that?
My first week.
Yeah.
So the first webinar that I ran after we spoke, I had 103 people register, 45 attended, and 33 people have viewed it since. Yeah, amazing. And that's where most of the people came from that I spoke to in the 48
those
hours.
7 sales.
Yeah, and they already had, and they were also doing a challenge, which is like a week of content that I had created.
Another marketing strategy that we did.
So they'd seen something on the landing page, they'd watched a bit of a video, they'd signed up for a webinar, experienced that, so an hour with me, you know, bringing it. Then they'd spent a whole week doing stuff with content that I created, and then when I called them, it was like, well, duh. Like, of course
you'd already built the trust.
Totally. And it was just an extension of everything else that I'd done. And I have to say that the group that's gone through, that's doing my course now, the energy in that Facebook group is just phenomenal.
yeah.
So that's where I coach them from that space.
Awesome.
And they're bringing their A game, and they're a reflection of where I'm at.
Hell
and
yeah.
that's super exciting. You know, it's
Hell
really
yeah.
exciting to notice that and be able to go, wow, look at their growth and look at my own and think,
Sure.
wow, rock on.
It's awesome. Boom, high five.
That's it.
Congratulations. That's so exciting because I didn't know that coming into today. And she's like, oh, P.S. I'm selling my other business. And, you know, that's like the one little string on that's kind of eating up a little bit of her time, but still with the time that she does have, she's smashing finances, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about the positive. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, the challenges, because
Sure.
I feel like that's really important to go through.
Yeah.
You just spoke about a great webinar that you ran, but I know there's been others in the past that have been crap. And some other kind of challenges. So what do you think your biggest challenges have been getting to this point that you're at now where finances are great? Because 81% of coaches fail. You're not in that percentage.
That's right.
You're thriving in a leveraged way with a sustainable business, making awesome finances, loving it.
Yeah.
So, but what are some of the challenges been getting there?
Yeah, sure. So I ran sometimes if I had set up a whole campaign of something like a webinar,
Sure.
and I had 3 people register and 1 attend. Now I was testing and measuring at the time to see, I was trying to run 7 a.m. webinars and 9 o'clock webinars because massage therapists work outside of those times. So it was kind of, and I had some traction, but that was probably really challenging when you set up all this time, effort and energy and it just flops.
Yeah.
I think that it was the topic wasn't really appropriate or didn't connect.
Yep.
It's something, whatever it was, it just didn't connect like in the way that I had anticipated. And that was really challenging because it's like, well, I've just invested all this time, crap, now what do I do? Like, oh crap.
Yep.
And so much of it is about being surrounded by people, you know, like her out in that room, that surrounding yourself with amazing people, and I don't think that I had that, and that's really challenging when you're just there by yourself trying to do the do, still trying to give as much as you can, but not, it's harder. It's like walking through sand.
Yeah.
You know, it's just harder to actually make the
Sure.
progress because there's no one there to ask.
Finances aren't there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you launch, and this is, I know that we've all been there, we've been there, everyone's been there. The difference is whether you get through it or not. So Elicia ran a webinar, had 3 people register, and some people get worse. Some people get no registrations, and 1 person attend. Did that person end up joining? No. So it's just complete flop. Complete flop.
Yep, totally.
And that usually, like, we pre-frame to people that your first 5 campaigns will usually flop. And the reason that is not because the campaigns don't work or webinars don't work, you know, or challenges don't work or seminars don't work. It's because the messaging that you're having is usually quite average starting out. And it's a game that you got to push through. So with you, your messaging at this point is getting better and better and more refined.
Yeah.
But you're only, you know, a few months into your business.
Yeah.
And, you know, 2 years into your business, the quality of messaging that you're going to have now that you've dedicated yourself to consistently working on your business with marketing and sales, it's just going to get better and better and better. And the better it gets, the better results are, the more sales, the more cash flow, the more you enjoy it, the more people respond, the more trust you have going into sales calls. Everything gets better. But the big problem is that coaches usually, if this is the journey, like this amount of time, they get this far in and hit one stumbling block and think it's not possible, or Facebook ads don't work, or webinars don't work, but it's just a part of the process. And you've been so resilient and awesome, and it is hard because, you know, when you are stepping into your own business that you love and want to do for the rest of your life, there is so much pressure, so much more pressure than doing something that's just another option. Because when you're a coach, you're stepping into what you believe is the biggest step in what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's not just another job or something like that. It's so much more important. So if you hit a little stumbling block at the start, usually fear sets in and goes, far out, does that mean that my business can't succeed? And you push through that, which is awesome. So that was one challenge. What else was challenging?
Running 2 whole businesses. And massage business I've been running for long enough that I know how that works.
That's what's gotten you to the point where you can coach massage therapists.
Exactly. So, but there's still tweaking, you know, there's still making sure the staff are going well and all that sort of stuff, and making sure we're marketing appropriately.
So could we summarize this with time management?
Yes, absolutely. And so my husband's also self-employed. We've got a couple of kids, so time is a big thing. You create time, I believe. And I'm happy to pack in as much to my day as I can. But not knowing how to spend my time to get the best, you know, resource possible, to get the most out of my time, that was what I was really struggling with.
Awesome. So thank you for that, because tip to the guys watching and girls, if you're approaching doing your new coaching business, or if you've been doing it for a while, whatever, it is so important to find the time and make sure that no matter what happens, you can push through with the time. I know that when I spoke to Elicia, I was like, are you sure you're going to have time to do this stuff? And she's like, yeah. When the kids go to bed, I'm up, I'll get my landing pages done, easy. I'll make sure I book in calls for that day. Whereas like yesterday, I spoke to somebody about time, and they had so much time, but they said that they couldn't find the time. And it's just such a big juxtaposition. Not only do you need to know and be able to find the time because you're committed, which you are, but if you can fill it with the right on the business growth activities, they're going to then propel the business. You're going to get some results. It's going to reaffirm you're on the right path, and you're going to, continue to push forwards. Any other big challenges at this point?
Fear of success, I think, was huge, more than fear of failure.
Awesome.
To be perfectly honest.
Because a lot of people have been in that same position. I certainly have been.
It's like, oh yeah, no, what if I fail? It's like, no, that's not the thing. Well, what if I actually succeed? What if I achieve everything I've ever wanted to do? And
I think we can all resonate with this.
For a time, that was something that held me back. And it's like, now I think, fuck it, I don't care. Rock on, bring it on. I totally want that sucker.
Bring it on.
I love the fact that, I can empower my kids and, investing in the next generation. I love it. So, yeah. That's
amazing. So you were, because I've been there as well, especially when you start to get some big results, you're like, if I'm getting results now and I don't feel like I'm hitting my potential, what happens when I'm tearing it apart? I just can't picture it. It's just so surreal.
Yeah.
So where was that, what in your head was that success that you were afraid to get? What level?
Big. When we first had a conversation, Ryan said what I should be making each week. I kind of was like, oh shit. That's literally what I said, and then I had no words, which is almost unheard of for me.
Love to talk.
I was like, what? She shut up. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure. Like, what would that actually mean for me in my life? Which we smashed in the first week. We smashed in the first week, and it was like, it is totally possible. But I knew that before I did it. It was like the shift that I had, between the conversations we'd had was like, no, I'm totally ready to step up and to make this happen.
It's awesome to have that association that if I succeed, it's awesome for my kids. And a lot of people kind of neglect that, and they look internally. It's like, crap, could I handle the pressure? Is this possible? Or what if I fail? But the fact that you were able to look at a bigger picture for a better purpose, which is I need to be the best version of myself for the people close to me, the people I care about, and in your case,
it's my
that's
kids.
your amazing kids.
And
you're
if
a great
I can
mom.
share a quick story, like, I always put my goals up on the wall, something you guys taught me, and my son, I printed out his report last year and just shared it with him, what his teacher had noticed. And he said, oh, can I take that, Mum, and I want to put it up on my wall? I'm like, yeah, cool. He goes, and then I'll get a pen. I'm like, look at what I'm going to achieve for next year.
Holy shit.
He's 7, and he's looking at how could he better himself? How could he be the best version of himself?
That's got to make you proud.
7. Oh shit, yeah. And it was when I realised it was because I had invested in me, and because I was willing to step up. Now my kids are willing to step up, and for me, it's not about performance, but it is about self-development, self-growth for them. They're still got to be kids, but I think imagine getting that concept at 7. Because it's model 2.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So the fear of success was, I pretty much said, let's do 500K and then strive towards $1 million. And you're like, holy shit. And then you made 14K in week 1 or
that's
more.
Right.
And so you're like, okay, I made 14K in 1 week. That I can hit 500K.
Exactly. It's like, because it wasn't hit and miss. It wasn't random. It wasn't because I signed up to a lottery ticket and exactly. It was because I had the right strategy. Because I actually had the right, the right webinar topic. I had the right, I put it in front of the right people. I tested and measured my market. I had the right copy, the right images, which got the right people in. And the right people then stayed on and did the challenge. And so it was like, well, I can replicate that. Because this is not hit and miss. This is the steps that I took.
Exactly.
Now I can replicate it again and set it all up for next week.
Amazing. Boom. Everything you just said then, I'm just loving this. It's music to my ears because she's just going over and listing off everything that we've taught.
Exactly.
And it's just so good to see you applying it. And actually having such an amazing mindset that says, this is possible. Because so many people will just naturally go to self-doubt. They'll make 100K and then just be like, oh, but maybe it's not possible, or maybe the industry's going down. That's a great attitude. It really is a great attitude. And the fact that you've already proven those numbers and then day in, day out, you're consistently moving forward. You've already made a sale today. You've got more booked in. You've got another 9 booked in for the rest of the week. You're just replicating it week in, week out. So now that you're making over 10K a week, far out, how awesome is that?
It is freaking awesome.
Cool. So just for the guys watching on, what would your one piece of advice be for those people that are listening now that are in a position where they are a coach and they may have achieved some results, they may be starting out, they may be struggling with some barriers on kind of in that same place where they're either fearing success, knowing that it's possible, knowing that they have the potential. What advice would you pass on being in a position now when you've proven it's possible, you're living it, you're breathing it, you're smashing it? What advice would you give to these guys if there was one thing?
Get the right mentor. And I like that is the best thing ever. Like with massage, I can see 25 clients a week, but I was hitting a glass ceiling. So I was doing one-on-one in a room with people, which I guess is similar to most coaches that are doing one-on-one. And so I was hitting a glass ceiling, and it's like, well, if I want to run an online coaching business and that I can then reach people in Australia and the world, then I needed to be able to do that. And so getting the right advice at the start rather than farting around was exactly what I needed to make sure that I was going to make this succeed and quickly.
Awesome. Thank you so much. How do you feel now that you've gotten to this point and you've made this happen?
Oh man, it's so freaking cool.
It is so good.
I love it. You know, I know I talk about my kids a bit, but you know, they're the reason that I do most things.
Yes.
And this week,
Cool.
you know, there have been times where things have been really tight before we made this decision. And this week I was able to buy them and my mum and myself passes to Adventure Park. Right?
Oh yeah.
And it's like, okay, that seems like, it doesn't seem like much, but you know, it's $300.
Yeah.
And $300 when you know, if you're struggling to put food on the table is too much money. It's not something to do. But to be able to go, I made 14K last week. I'm going to invest that in having some fun. Like, it makes me want to get up and do it again. Because I think, how fun is this? You know, what a cool mom. I'm like, you go to Adventure Park and throw yourself down some water slides. Awesome. And that's what it's about for me. Being able to not just empower my kids, but then also bless them with cool stuff.
Hell yeah. Well, you've been amazing. I just want to say thank you so much for being an amazing client. Thank you for your time today.
Pleasure.
You are, like you in your words, rocking on like an absolute boss. And this is the start of the journey. 14K, week 1. We're right at the start of this journey. You know, we're obviously going to far exceed our expectations for the year now. Obviously, the game's already been raised, which is awesome. So thank you so much. Awesome job. High five. Hey guys, how powerful was that? How awesome was that journey? Elicia is such a bundle of energy, such a positive, remarkable person. And I really look up to her as a mum, as a coach, as a person. So grateful to have her in our business. Such an awesome person. And to learn from her journey and see how she is so clear, so switched on, when before we chatted and before we started working together, she was unsure of whether the business was going to work, taking that to the fact that she's 1,000,000% certain that it's going to get to 500K in the next 12 months. Rock on. How cool is that? So really, really cool. But you also you are also able to kind of see into what was holding her back and what you would need to overcome to also get that breakthrough, which is really cool as well. But if you're kind of watching now going, this is awesome, what do I do now? Then go below, book yourself in for a clarity session. I put out my time and made a decision to help you guys out. Our mission is to change 1% of the entire population of this planet. And to do that, we need your help. Because we need 15,400 coaches to change 5,000 lives each. And that's going to enable us to change 1% of the entire population, 73 million lives. So if you believe that you could be a part of that and you could change at least 5,000 lives, then go below, get that session. I will give everything that I possibly can to help you out with your business model, your structure, everything you need to get here. Because we've done it before. We got to 7 figures in the first 10 months. Okay, we're on track to do 5 mil this year, and you guys can replicate those results. So make sure that you go below, claim that clarity session, and I cannot wait to speak to you really soon. Peace out. Love you guys.